All right, 1 second, everybody. Hey, sorry, I was responding to some error messages there. Fudge. Great. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. I could have said something worse. Can y'all hear me now? Fudge. Oh man, fudge in the chat, everybody. Fudge in the chat. So, sorry, there will be. We got everything set up. There's. Ooh, great start. So, yeah, welcome to the first ever Bachelor Fantake post show live stream. Um, this is going to be something new. It's going to be something exciting. Where we get to chat about the show. I get to share some of my early thoughts before even anything happens with my videos or with the preview video. And I guess to start off, this is really going to be kind of like a basic sort of thing at the beginning, and I want to improve upon this more as we go on. But for now, it's just going to be pretty basic, and we're just going to discuss the show. There's a lot that happened, especially with Luke. So yeah. I don't know if I said this before. There's also about a 10-second delay. So if I see something in the chat and I respond to it and it seems like it happened 10, 15 seconds ago, that's probably why. Also, yeah, please no spoilers in the chat. Um, Think Story, thanks with the super chat. Thank you. That that is not obligated, but totally appreciated. Um, wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Think Story. I've seen Think Story a bunch on the channel. I see a couple of names that I have recognized chatting on the actual videos, which is awesome to see. So yeah, why don't we talk about first Luke? So that's the big thing that happened this week is pretty much everything was revolving around Luke. All the guys and Hannah talking about was Luke here for for the right reasons. And is he going home at the end of it? And I gotta say right now, my first impressions are Luke is not going home. I think it's a pretty big fake out. So we saw the Luke one-on-one this episode, which really wasn't a great one-on-one. But nothing has shown me that he's going home yet, especially the previews. Because we still have a lot to see from Luke. Do you remember in the previews there was this one-on-one, or sorry, some sort of group date or preview where Luke and Garrett were fighting and Luke was yelling at him? Um, yeah, we still haven't seen that. So, there's no way that Luke is going home in my mind. Do you know that shot that they had at the end there where Luke is like praying, and he's like, I've done the wrong thing, or I can't remember what he said. I'll have to review everything, but to me, it's the possibility is that Luke does not get a rose at the rose ceremony, he does not get a rose at the group date, but he will then eventually get one at a rose ceremony, and he's going to go through this sort of like, oh, I'm praying. Life of Bree, thank you so much. Wow, that's super, super generous. Thanks for supporting the stream and the channel. That's awesome. Really, you guys, I'm really befumbled by this all, so I'll let Hannah take it away there.
I'm like befumbled. I mean, I don't know another word.
So thank you for that. So it is true. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading now. I'm doing a little. I'm trying a little. There's a lot of chat going on, but Roxanne says maybe she sends him home, but he begs for another chance, which is totally possible. I says I thought you go home if you don't get a rose on a one-on-one, which is true. Usually that's true, but I know the producers will sometimes make exceptions for things. Like for example, I know this is not the US version of the show, but on Bachelor in Paradise Australia, there was a guy who went home and a woman who was really hoping he would stay, and so to kind of help save that relationship, they just brought him back on the show. So not always does a rose mean you're just going straight home. Usually it does, but not always. Hannah made out with 3 people on a date. I was okay. Yeah, she was making the rounds this episode. She was really not wasting her time. But Luke isn't going to win. That's the first thing I'll say, for sure. I can see him making it quite further. We still have a lot to see from him, but yeah. Thanks, Cameron, as well for the donation. Thank you. Oh yes, and the other thing is John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones is going home. Fudge in the chat for John Paul Jones. And I'm not surprised by that. I think we sort of sleuthed it out pretty hard that he was going home. And, he wasn't really getting any screen time anyways. So I'm not surprised. But they definitely cut out that kiss he got in the previews. Like, what was up with that? They didn't even show it. Like, they didn't even give respect to my man JPJ to show his kiss, even if it was a really bad kiss or something. Yeah, I did see that. Someone in the chat said that there was someone that Hannah let go. Hannah had said there was someone she let go who was a bad kisser, and they're pretty much speculating that it was John Paul Jones who was that person. So probably, I think that's true. Sorry, John Paul Jones. But But you know what? I feel like we're gonna get confirmation on that in Paradise. So wait for that. He's gonna get a kiss. I mean, how could John Paul Jones not be in Paradise? Right? It seems like the perfect thing. Yeah, Mateo left too. That was someone who I. So in my preview video for this week, the one that I did last Wednesday, um, I mentioned who I thought was going to be eliminated this week, and I didn't mention Mateo, but it wasn't because I thought he was going to stay or anything. I honestly forgot about Mateo, and nothing against Mateo, but he really they gave him nothing. They gave him nothing, so forgot about him honestly. But yeah, yeah. Who's Mateo? Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much my thoughts, or at least the editor's thoughts on that. So, but yeah, no, JPJ for Paradise for sure. It seems like he's going to be his jam. Um, I've seen some people say him and Demi would make a fudge in the chat for Mateo. Fudge in the chat. Um, and yeah, I don't know about him and Demi. I've heard people say that. I think they're both very blonde, and that's one thing they've got going for them. But I don't think it'll happen. JPJ and Annalise, maybe that's a thing if Annalise is going to be there. But yeah, no, for me right now, someone just said, is your top pick still your top pick? And I think stronger than ever, Tyler is the top pick. For a long while, I really thought Jed was coming on strong, but I don't know. I'm just ever since Jed said that he was on there for the promo for the platform, um, I don't know, something has really turned me off of Jed recently. So, Peter, I think has really surprised me. He is definitely a top pick. I think if right now you're saying Peter is your pick, I can't disagree with you. Um, but they are going a little bit strong for my belief on that. I've also heard people say Mike, or at least Mike for Bachelor, which I think is a fantastic thing. Um, I really like I loved Mike this episode. This episode I really liked Mike because for a lot of the episode he wasn't with Luke, and that's where Mike's at his best. Um, he was not talking about other guys or anything or drama. He was just like smiling the whole time. Like, what an awesome smile that dude has. Like, seriously, every time he smiles, it just kind of like, you feel good. You feel like, nice guy, you know? And then he comes back and he's with Luke, and it all just, he starts reading about the Loch Ness Monster, and, things just go back down. When Mike is without Luke, Mike is at his best. So if he can keep that going, then he can definitely be Bachelor. And it's about time, right? It's about time that we had a, non-white Bachelor. So I think he's a good fit. I think it's the right time. I like him. We'll see how it ends. We'll see if he gets on Paradise and how he does there, and we'll see if Luke also gets on Paradise. I don't know about that, but we'll see, because Paradise will definitely be a strong factor in what happens on creating the next Bachelor. But chicken nuggets, yeah, you said it. Dustin, what about DeGarrett? And Dustin. Dustin again. I just don't think he. I mean, I don't see him going home. but don't see him making it far. Garrett is someone who I very early on, before the season began, from just those first couple of previews, I thought he was a top four, but that got replaced by Conor. Um, I don't know if we like we'll talk about the anatomy of a preview, but generally they like to sandwich things in this way. In a preview, they like to put something exciting at the beginning, then they like to put something kooky and fun in the middle, and then they put something very serious after that, and finally they finish with like the big drama piece of the season. So, for example, like a lot of the time, the first thing that you see in a preview, and a lot of the previews for this season, is the that date where Garrett and Hannah are jumping out of a whatever that bungee thing, and that's something exciting. Diana Whitten, thank you for the donation. That's awesome. Um, Thank you for the super chats and everything. Uh, Totally unnecessary, but I love it. Thank you for supporting the stream and the channel. Um, so yeah, as far as the that anatomy of the preview. So yeah, we see Dustin, Garrett, and Hannah at the beginning. That's the exciting thing. It's like, ooh, sexy that they're jumping out. They're pretty much naked, in that thing. They have the sensor bar up, and then they go into like funny stuff. And Garrett never makes it though to that last little bit, that serious love connection part. Tyler has, Jed has, Peter has, and Conor has a little bit too. So that's why that's one of the reasons why I also have been feeling Conor. But yeah, I don't know. I just haven't seen enough of Garrett. John Paul Jones is paradise. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin is so cute. I don't know how he doesn't get any attention. I don't know. I know. I guess the chicken nuggets thing. The chicken nuggets. Hello from Trinidad and Tobago. Hi. Yeah, poor Garrett. Yeah. No, Luke isn't going home soon, guys. Everyone, yeah, every season needs a villain. Oh, for sure, for sure. And you know what? I on that note, I have to say that Luke S really got a good edit, and I'll let me tell you why. So, in the previews, do you remember in the previews way back when there was this shot of Luke S, and he was saying something along the lines of, I could steal Hannah anytime that I wanted. And I thought, like, okay, this is the obvious villain for the season. But they cut out that footage from the show. We never saw it. And yeah, can you keep the live stream on your channel after it's done? I definitely will. And I'm going, where's all this negative stuff that we saw from the previews of Luke? Well, I think it's because of his sort of feud with Luke P, that he had to be the good guy. So they never showed that footage. It seemed like there was tons of stuff of him antagonizing other people that just never made it to the show. So I still think of him as sort of like a mid-tier, low-tier villain. When I think of like categorizing people for making your selections for top 4, top 3, and so on. But man, he came out good. And honestly, he left, and I know there were people saying, like Mike, who said, oh, you just let Luke P get what he wanted. I think it was the right decision for him to just get out of there. Get out of there while things were looking okay for him. So who do you think will be the next Bachelor? I think Peter. I think Peter could absolutely be the next Bachelor. I think whoever doesn't win the Bachelor has a chance. So in my mind, that's either Jed or Tyler. I could absolutely see Tyler getting it if that were to happen because he's so popular. But the big thing is that Mike, uh, Cupcake Monster, $5, thanks. A cool video idea would be top 10 scenes that were in the previews but never in the actual show. Could definitely do something like that. I feel like this season already there have been a couple of instances like that. Um, just immediately that comes to mind is obviously this Luke S scene. I'm sure there's so many more, but definitely that John Paul Jones kiss, which has a story behind it too, the whole like bad kiss thing. Which why didn't they put on? I guess maybe it didn't work with the whole Luke drama. It was too silly or something. Um, but uh, but yeah, no, Mike for sure. I think has a strong chance. Oh, everything doing okay here? So, sorry, it was just telling me the thing was going low. That's okay. So, yeah, definitely thinking Mike. Would you ever audition for The Bachelorette? No. No, no, no. It would be too unfair. So, fudge in the chat for that. Um, there is Mike. And if you like, honestly, I think one thing that I mentioned in one of my previous videos is that social media helps change um, the choice of the Bachelor. And if you actually are interested in one person being the Bachelor, then follow them on social media. Start posting about them. I know it's a kind of strange thing to say, and I'm always a bit of a advocate for keeping only the things that bring you actual like joy and fulfillment on your feeds, because there are a lot of Bachelor people who just will try to like a lot of what they do are just advertisements, and it's not really what face reveal. Uh, you know what? That will happen in due time. We will get there. So keep posted. But but yeah, no. So social media is one way that I know it's not always the be all end all for choosing the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, but I know it is a big factor in that. So um, get on your socials. And if you're not following Bachelor Fantake on Twitter and Instagram, make sure to get that done. Sorry to bring Luke back into it. But I do have a bit of a conspiracy to share with y'all. I was thinking about doing a video on this conspiracy. And I mean, I don't know if I will yet because it's mostly just about balancing time. Probably will. But so there's this kind of thing that I've been hearing about certain people coming in to Paradise. Like some of the filming has started, and I've heard a few names thrown around. I don't think there's been any official confirmations on any of this, but I've heard Blake's name, I've heard Hannah G's name, and I've heard Christina's name. Christina, if you remember, with Dean and all that business. And way back when there were rumors that Blake and Christina were dating. And then suddenly that stopped. And we know for sure that she came to Denver, which is where he's from, and then they talked about it actually being a thing, and then it never was, and so they just ended it. And then everybody started talking about how Blake and Hannah G were going to be a thing. And anyways, I've got this sort of theory that they want to have this like love triangle happen on Paradise because it's perfect for getting Blake as a possible bachelor. Yeah. Not saying that he will be, not saying that they want him over other people, but I'm saying there's a chance that they want to have a backup plan. And that backup plan would be Blake. So there you go. Conspiracy with Grant, who I think is going home soon. Sorry, Grant. I don't have anything against Grant. I kind of like Grant. He, like, I don't know. He's kind of chill. But, anyways, that was my tinfoil hat moment for you right there. I mean, but, you know, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to have a backup plan, right? Like, think about it. Do you want a situation where you go into Paradise and then you have no bachelor because A, they like don't want to do it, or there's a scandal or something and it's just bad for the show? And then you have to do an Ari thing where you have to go and look at past contestants and bring them on the show and all that. No, you don't want to do that. So you make a backup plan. And what's the worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario is that, say, Blake and Hannah, they fall in love. That's awesome. That's great TV. That's awesome for them as well. So, anyways, yes, I will be doing Bachelor in Paradise videos. Honestly, Bachelor in Paradise is what I'm looking forward to the most. It is just good fun, that show. And there's a little bit of they don't care as much. Okay, what is this? Okay, sorry. We are removing that. Get out of here, sir. Gross with that links and stuff. Sorry, I'm moderating this myself, so have some patience for stuff like that. Think Story, thank you again. Love your videos more, please. There will be more. There will be a video tomorrow for sure. So watch out. One thing, I mean, if y'all aren't aware already, the schedule for my videos I usually try to get out by 5. So if it is midnight tomorrow, then you can start to panic. In defense of Luke P. I mean, that's going to require the most imagination possible. But we'll see if I can get it done. I mean, why not? I'll give it a try. I'll at least start at least start it, and then if it just becomes impossible, well, that'll be a good video too. So something will happen. Yes, Ari and Lauren had their baby, and that is awesome. And, you know, hey, I say nothing but love for them, you know? Yeah, Lauren and Ari are so boring. They're perfect together. Yeah, not entirely wrong there. Why defend Puke? Well, it's not about defending Puke. It's about just, like, putting yourself into another person's perspectives and trying to understand why they might do that. What is Luke P's job? He's an importer-exporter, obviously. Doesn't he look like one? He's a Costanza. Too much defending of Luke P on social media already? Really? Is that true? I don't know. I don't get that, because to me, I like one thing I think about with Luke P, even when I try to do the, you know, put yourself in their shoes, you never know what someone else experiences kind of thing, is that honestly, if I saw someone that I really cared about, like a sister or a close friend dating Luke, and Luke doing the things that he does, it would be pretty, I don't know, like I wouldn't feel good about that. I feel like he's pretty manipulative. Um, Thoughts on Hannah saying she didn't mind Luke P being aggressive with Luke S. Well, I think there's a certain okayness to showing passion about something. I think Hannah meant she liked the competitive. She likes the the guy who's good at sports and puts a lot of passion and stuff into sports. But yeah, yeah, I don't know about that completely. Luke P and Corinne is perfect. True, true. Do you think Corinne will be back? I don't know about that, but I also don't know if Luke will be in Paradise. So, are you Canadian? Maybe. Me and Kevin, BFFs. Um, Bachelor Fantake ASMR. Don't watch ASMR, but it would. Bachelor ASMR. That, yeah, that's a new genre. Maybe we'll start that. No, just kidding. But real man thing. It's a southern thing. I don't think it's just a southern thing. I think it's like a thing, right? Um, are you from the Midwest? I feel like our accents are similar. Maybe. Maybe. Where in the world is Bachelor Fantake? Hmm. Can't hide that accent, bro. Connor S and Kaylin in Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah, I could ship that. I could ship that. Who do you see Demi hitting it off with in Paradise? That's a really good question. I don't know. Like I feel like so many people have said. I feel like Connor also, like, speaking of, he could be someone that. Yeah, you aren't Southern. That is true. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess so many people have already started to ship JPJ and Demi, and I don't agree with it. You definitely are an Aussie in disguise. Absolutely, mate. Um, does Connor's voice bother anyone else with how wildly low it is? Well, I mean, you could say that about Tyler too, right? He's got a pretty low voice. I mean, did you see Tyler's face in this episode when they asked him to yell, like to do a war cry? This he can't get angry. He just can't. He here. I've got more. I swear I've got more images, but this has been going. This has been going way. There's Tyler. Can you imagine this guy? Can you imagine this guy getting mad at you? Can you imagine him yelling at someone? Never. When does Bachelor in Paradise premiere? That is, and you also, do you know if they're already filming? I believe that they either just started filming or they're going to very soon. And I believe it comes right immediately after, um, Bachelorette. So I think it's at the end of July. They're doing it basically either the day after or a week after or something, but it's going to be very quick. Um, Peyton, thank you for the $5. That's so nice. Thanks for supporting the stream. Like, one of the things I want to, I didn't think people would be donating, but it's awesome that you are and you're supporting and helping just, make the stream better. One thing I'll eventually get out there are notifications and things like that for this. So, free Matt Donald. Yes, I have heard that. I have heard that he is on Bachelor in Paradise, and I'm not surprised. I feel like this is a new thing that is happening in the Bachelor world, is the grocery store Joe edit. That's what they want. They want someone who gets out immediately still to be big. And yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, even though they kind of were influencing it a bit with his edit, but, why not? Say Toronto. There you go. Tirana. Is that what you're hoping for? He's actually a chill guy, Matt. Yeah, he seems so sweet. And he got that super awesome intro. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'd totally hang out with that guy. Can we talk about the fact that Hannah basically saw every guy's junk tonight? Yes, that is what I want to talk about. I have a whole section set aside for all the guys' junk. Um, who is it? There's okay, Loki. There's a time where she said something about like it's not the size of it or something, and I just thought, that's not good. I like chasing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess there's only room for one pilot on the show, so Jane is so Jane. Oh, Jane, why are you even talking, Jane? Imagine in defense of the chicken nugs. I know, right? They're everywhere. I couldn't help but cringe during Luke and Hannah's one-on-one. Oh, yeah, I know, right? And to me, every time she just kept saying um, okay, I don't want to talk anymore. Let's just look at this castle. She said that at least twice. I don't want to talk anymore. Let's just look at this castle. Raptors or Golden State? I think the Raptors should have won last night. Just or not. Okay, not that they should have won. I believe that the Raptors, they had that was a big chance that they let go, and that should help you answer the Canadian question too. Um, Top pick, still Tyler. Still Tyler. Why does she keep Luke? So, honestly, I think that she's really connected to Tyler from the very early days. I think she's very attracted to Luke, and I think there's a part of her that just keeps saying like she would regret it if she let him go, and it would affect her process. Like she might regret it later if she chose someone else. She wants to make 100% sure. And I also think Luke's a bit manipulative. So, tinfoil hat, y'all, not Canadian. I love the tinfoil hat. Yeah, I mean, she should have. I mean, she should have sent Luke home, and it's true. She says at one point that that like I wish I could send you home like all the other a holes that I have so far, but I can't. And she's been pretty good about this so far, but not with Luke. And there's just so much Luke in the thing that I feel like there's no way he's not the central drama piece. So he has to make it at least a few more episodes. And we still know that in the previews, he's video tomorrow for sure. Are you from Boston? Say hello to your mother for me. What is it? Okay, no, that was bad. I think the pink jacket is the pink jacket is Luke. I think so too. That's sort of my thought. I mean, we can't say for sure, but most likely. Even though you believe Tyler's first pick, do you believe that there's another guy better suited for her, or do you believe that he is the right choice for her? That's a good question. That's a really good question. For a while, I thought Jed. I thought Jed was really, really the right fit. But I don't know. Just ever since that promo thing using this as a platform, I don't know. Something just turned me off a bit from that. So, and a lot of people are still asking like who for Bachelor. Totally, I'd still put my my money on Mike right now. But I could see anybody who makes it close to the end, other than Luke, if Luke makes it to the end, being the Bachelor. Okay, all right, this guy, he's back. We're doing that. Okay, there we go. Bye. Pink leather jacket episode is going to be insane. Yeah. So I think this is another anatomy of how the Bachelors try to edit the whole season is they try to have one moment where you're always waiting for. For example, like the gate jump is a really big version of that, right? The gate jump was something we waited for every week. They teased it every week. They even told us it was going to happen next week at a couple of times, or at least Chris Harrison did. And and faked me out, Chris Harrison. Um, and uh, and this is the gate jump moment for the season, the Jesus loves me thing, right? Um, so I'm thinking it has to be something big, and it has to be someone big. So it's either Luke, and that's the obvious choice right now, who's the person who causes that, or it's someone who is a final one or two kind of person. Um, Maybe someone like Jed, even. No, I don't actually think it's Jed. But it would have to be someone really important for this kind of big gate jump moment. Bachelor Fantake is Chris Harrison. You know what? That's a tinfoil hat theory. That is absolutely a tinfoil hat theory. Favorite Bachelor and Bachelorette. That's a good. That's so, like I've had people ask me that before, and it's a super tough one. Um, Mostly because I haven't watched a lot of the older bachelorettes and bachelors in a long time, so it's hard to compare. So a lot of the time I think of more recent seasons. I think I really liked Rachel's season more in hindsight thinking about it. Um I've always been a JoJo fan, but I think that's because I was kind of at the time mad at Ben Higgins for saying he loved her and then, all that whole thing. Um but yeah, those are ones that come to mind. I think a lot about Jason's season, but maybe that's just because of the way it ended and everything. What was the first season you saw? I actually saw the very first season. My mom was into the show, and I watched that, when that aired with her, um, and then did other things, and then came back to watching it a bunch more and way more obsessively, obviously. Yeah, poor Ben Higgins. But he always seems to make it back on the show, so, you know. I like Mike for Bachelor in Paradise. He was too involved in the drama to be Bachelor. And you know what? That's possibly true. But the most important thing it seems to be is actually making it to Bachelor in Paradise because a lot of the last couple of bachelors have been from Bachelor in Paradise, like Nick and Colton, obviously. So Bachelor in Paradise plays a big like he as long as he just makes it to Bachelor in Paradise, the story that he has there could you know propel him to Bachelor. I think Garrett could be the pink leather jacket. I can't imagine Luke actually insulting her. He can't even seem to make his own opinions at this point to even start that conversation with her. Yeah, it honestly like it could be anybody. But I don't know. Unless they're doing a huge major fake out, I don't think it's Garrett. Mike did not go home. He did not. So you're probably at least 27. You're in the right area. Why was Garrett saying he messed up at the end of the episode? I'm gonna go back and usually when I do the preview video, I go and I take multiple looks um, at the preview and a lot of time just to make sure that there's nothing I miss or there's some like connection that I could make and I'll make sure to double check on that for the preview video. That'll be not tomorrow, but the day after. Why was Luke packing his bags? Maybe he does go home. That'd be nice. I want to know what Garrett does next week. Well, we know that no matter what, Garrett at least gets a one-on-one coming up, and that could be anytime. Do you like bacon? Oh yeah. Um, and of course, well, better question: what do you like better, mac and cheese or spaghetti? So That's the real question. Um, Mac and cheese. Uh, do you watch Love Island? No, I haven't. I have a lot of people say recommend that though, and I might catch up on that in some of my free time in between Bachelor and everything. Yeah, that's true. They always pack a bag before a one-on-one, in case they get sent home on the. Yeah, Luke packing his bags was just a dramatic fake out. I still think that's a fake out for sure. And the whole like, especially with the shot of him praying at the, in the church, like, Love Island is like Bachelor in Paradise, but way trashier. Is that even possible? Um, Love Island means no free time. Paradise Hotel was good. Prefer it over Love Island. Um, say tomorrow again. Okay, there you go. Is Garrett the guy that they show Luke yelling at? Yes, absolutely. I don't have the shot ready on my thing here. Oh, there you go. Here you can see here that it's pretty much Garrett. There's another shot of him from the front as well. Um, so yeah, we know Garrett makes it a little further along. Um, and it's possible sometimes they do pack things up really quickly. Like I think there's a lot more footage to be seen from previews and stuff of someone, and then all of a sudden it just kind of comes out really quickly. So it is possible that all of this could happen in the next episode, and then Garrett could go, but I don't think so. Do you watch Survivor? Absolutely, I watch Survivor. Um, yeah, I make a few Survivor references in my videos. Do you have any idea of what will be happening next week? Yeah, a little bit. I think. I mean, it's hard. I have first impressions of it right now, but I'll definitely be talking about all of that in my preview video coming out in 2 days' time, and who I think is going to be eliminated. Which I'll tell you right now, I'm still okay because of the to be continued. It didn't happen this week, but Grant's days are numbered. What's your favorite show besides The Bachelor? You can probably tell from my videos, I watch a lot of The Office. Why did you decide to create this YouTube channel? A couple of people mentioned that I should do it. A couple of very important people in my life, and I said, well, maybe we'll see. And then I started it, and here we are. My cousin is Lauren from Survivor. Cool. That's awesome. I really, yeah. No, I'm a big Survivor fan. I liked a lot of, I liked a lot of this last season. Do you prefer The Bachelor or Bachelorette? That is a good question. I don't know. It depends on the cast. It honestly depends on the cast. I've had times where I've liked one or the other, so you do a great job, dude. Thank you, Cupcake. Do you like making videos? Absolutely, I like making videos. It's a lot of fun. I would do it whether it was, thousands of people or just a few hundred. Or, I mean, even less, but favorite Bachelor moment slash breakup slash cringe moment. Oh, there's so many. Um, Certainly, like, one of the ones that I love to talk about a lot is Ben Flajnik. And I guess it's not like a breakup moment, but his whole thing with Courtney and picking the villain. I love it. If you've watched all of my videos, you know I make a few references to him. How long do videos take to make? So I'll wake up early tomorrow morning, and I'll basically just start straight till about 5 o'clock because I write them, and then I do the audio, and then I start editing them, and then I upload them. Are you a fan of Luke P? Puke P? Ari dumping. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Cringe Luke P. Yes. Think story. I am from the Baconator. Absolutely Baconator. Um. Have you read any of the books about the making of The Bachelor, like the book by Courtney? I haven't read her book, but I have read her blogs about it and some of the stuff that she said about like fantasy suites and stuff like that. But I haven't read it. I have read a lot of her writing though, other than that. Why aren't you talking about Peter very much anymore? I probably because Luke has taken up so much time. He's taken up so much of the airtime and the drama. And also last week, we had Tyler's one on one and Jed's one on one, and then But Peter's gonna have his time. Peter will have his time. We know that Peter gets some sort of one on one. The footage of him where they're in the car, and she's like, "Did you put this in here?" And she pulls out a condom. So we know that Peter's got his time to shine, and Peter is always present in the previews. So don't worry about Peter. Don't worry about Peter at all. Bachelor Fantake is Canadian because he says oot. That's for root, man. Yeah, Peter's so sweet. Yeah, like, I mean, he seems pretty normal. Who's your favorite Bachelor couple? That's one. So I'd have to really think about that, but Evan and Carly come to mind. Lindsay, love your videos. Where would you rank Tiara as far as Bachelor villains go? Thank you for the donation. That's uh, that's good. I might have to do some. I maybe I'll do a video on that. I'll have a bunch of time to do videos on stuff like that. Ranking the villains, off season stuff during the off season after Bachelor in Paradise, when the recaps and preview breakdowns don't take up as much of my time. Um, it's tough to figure out because there are some good villains out there. So maybe I'll do a more in depth. I'll do some more research. I'll go back and look at some of the footage and find find where she ranks and everything. Yeah. So yeah, and then we were asked Carly and Evan. They were just so weird, but it was kind of genuine. And I really had low expectations for Evan coming out of JoJo's season. Um, so it was kind of like this. I don't know. I hate condoning it because he was so like I don't know. He did some weird things. The hospital thing where he faked the injury, that was a bit weird. But but I don't know. They're cute and they have a kid now and more. So can you do White Knights too? Talking about like oh yeah, like top White Knights. Oh, for sure, I can do that. Um, there's been like a number. There's just there seems like every season there's a number of Evan. Speaking of, he was one during his season of The Bachelorette. How do you have time to make videos? Are you unemployed, Grant? Are you unemployed, Grant? I think you figured it out. Yes. Do you have a day job? Where do you find time to make your videos? I do. I do. I take certain days off to do videos. Um, Joe and Kendall. Yeah, Joe and Kendall are good. Uh, Thoughts on Jordan maybe being in paradise again? Yeah, I did hear rumors about that. Was it someone? They took a photo of him in an airport headed to paradise. Um, I don't. So here's the thing that I'm kind of banking on. One, just because I don't want Jordan to be on the season. I think we've had our Jordan fill, and he had his time, and let's move on. Um, and yeah, I think why he's there is actually because they're planning to have the Goose and Crystal's wedding on the show, and so he's going to be a guest. That's what I'm thinking. So, but he could be. He could be. Mike is for sure the white knight of the season, so he can't win. He has been very focused on Luke's relationship and stopping Luke, and I don't think that's good for him in the long run, for sure. But honestly, this season, every single guy has been like that, so if every single guy is snitching, someone has to win, right? So maybe this is the exception this year. There should be a Bachelor or Bachelorette survivor. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. I don't know if you talked about this already, but what do you think happened with Garrett in the preview? Not 100% sure yet, but I'm going to formulate that theory for next preview video. Say goodbye to this guy. Bachelor is just starting for you on the West Coast. You lucky, lucky person. Get to watch it fresh. Enjoy all the Luke. What do you think about Ashley and Jared's story from Bachelor in Paradise? I can't believe they're still together. I can't believe they're together. Honestly, I can't believe that actually happened. Um, you know what? Honestly, if like, hey, best to them, but I can't believe that actually happened. Please, dude, would you ever go on the show? Here's what I would do. I would totally do the Wells thing. I would be like the guy who is at the bar who doesn't actually know how to make a bunch of drinks but is there to like talk to them. I would absolutely do that. And I'd these guys would come up and I'd say, whatever you do, don't be a white knight, dude. Let her explore, let her do her thing. Focus on your relationship, don't focus on other people. And then they'll be like, yeah, man. That's what I would do. I'd be the Wells. Do you think Colton and Cassie are made for each other? Um, they're both quite annoying on Twitter, so yes. So as I sort of said in my Colton end of season video that they do have a good shot, and I think because because there was a lot of, I guess, animosity against them, or there was a lot of pushback against them, this whole like drama that happened, and sometimes that can be a bonding agent, sort of like what happened with Ari and Lauren. Everyone was like, oh, they hated them, they hated Ari, and they kind of forced them together. So maybe that'll work for them, but they are quite young, and who knows. Anyways, so far so good, right? Do you think Hannah sleeps with anyone before Fantasy Suites? No clue. I think she could be talking about just about anything, right? She could just be talking about sex in general. Do you think here we're talking you got into this. Do you think Chris deserved to win Survivor last season? Um he did, of the people who were left. But I don't know. It was kind of lame. It's kind of lame. I mean, he obviously he made the only choice where someone would have won other than Devon's. But yeah, I feel like Devon's was pretty primed to win, but that's not. This is not a Survivor stream. This is a Bachelor stream.
I was in the shower and God was speaking to me.
There you go. Bachelor. Also, that sound clip, for some reason, I don't know why that just got so low. Like, here's Hannah's befumbled one.
I'm like Befumbled.
Yeah, that's normal.
I mean, I don't know another
Why
word.
is Luke... The devil has gotten into Luke here.
I was in the shower and God was speaking to me.
He's like... Okay, I don't know why that happened, but he's like a few octaves too low. All right. This is, so someone said, say, this week on the that's not what I say. I say, last night on the Bachelorette. Who do you think will have a one-on-one next week? I think I'll have to review again the footage, but we're getting closer to Garrett's. But who knows? Okay, Baconator. You're getting into Hannah's blood drive. All right, see ya. Think story, gentlemen. This is the final rose of the. You know what? That's what I'm aiming for. I'm gonna be the next Chris Harrison. There you go. One of these days. Not really, but. All right, so we are getting to the late part of the stream. I do have to get up early and make a video. So let's get some last few questions in here before we end the stream. Cheers from Russia. It's 6 a.m. here, but your live stream is worth it. Thanks so much for joining us. Do you think Mike will get his own season since he is so nice? I think he's got a good chance for Bachelor. Is this season what you thought? No, I think Hannah's doing like really well. She's I mean, the Luke thing's a bit, but so far up to that, she's been pretty good about kicking people off. Except Luke. You know what? You're right. Luke is the exception. So found out Luke is 5'8". Still, he's a short, muscular dude. He is pretty ripped. Have you seen Roses and Rosé? I've seen a couple. Yeah. How do you think Hannah feels after watching this back and seeing how ridiculous Luke is? I think no matter what, if she's with him now or not, she's probably a little embarrassed. Final pick? Right now, Tyler. Do you watch any other Bachelor recap shows? Not till sometime occasionally, but not till like a few days after at minimum. I release my own. Let's do this again. Absolutely. Who hasn't had a one-on-one yet? There's been a number of guys. Peter hasn't, and he's due for one. Garrett hasn't, and we know he will. Why is Grant still here? He's who knows? Unpopular opinion, I don't think Luke is bad. Some people have said that. Who could be the next Bachelor? Pilot Pete? Absolutely he could be. I think he could be a good choice if Mike doesn't end up being it. Mike could be it too. Do you think Nick will partake again, like Paradise or something? Oh, Nick always makes it back. Do you drink alcohol with the Bachelorette? Sometimes I do. How do you feel about Jed? More mixed than ever before. I was super on Jed, especially after he had that moment where he saw Hannah and Luke and he was like, you know what, jealousy's not a thing. I was like, yes, absolutely. But after that, thing with the promo and all that and using it as a platform, I don't know. I've just kind of been a little bit irked by that. Ideas for who will be behind the big drama of the season, Hannah's breakdown moment? Likely Luke. That's what I'm thinking. But, could be. Who owns the salmon blazer? Everyone does. Everyone owns it. They all share it. Sometimes Jed wears it. Sometimes Tyler wears it. Everybody wears it. Is there a guy that you wished Hannah would be with that's not based on the previews? Oh, I would have honestly said Jed before, um, because of I don't know, but that's changing. Um, anyways, and I think like what about Dylan? We've heard nothing from him. He seems like a cool guy. Salmon Blazer, the Salmon Blazer. Where does it come from? Oh my goodness, from the depths. Nobody knows. It just appeared and took over. Do you think they purposely didn't show Hannah and JPJ having conversations? Yeah, I do. I think it's just because JPJ didn't make it that far, and then there was just too much. There was like too much footage, right, with Luke and everything. So he just kind of. I feel like JPJ got the rough end of the stick, and he just ended up on the editing room floor. Nick is not making it back. Uh, yeah, maybe not. I mean, he's been on there a lot, but he keeps showing his head every once in a while, like in the Bachelorette reunion. What's your opinion on how Hannah dealt with Luke? I honestly, my first impression is she's very confused, very confused. What about Blake from Becca season? I think we're gonna see him again. On Wednesdays we wear salmon. On group dates we wear salmon, for sure. What do you think about Kevin? He's falling to the wayside. I think the only reason we saw a bit of him was because of the whole chicken nugget thing. And now he's just kind of going away. Yeah, for face reveal, you should wear a salmon blazer. Yes, all salmon. I only own salmon products. What could Luke S have done to defend himself? Not thrown his head into Luke P's knee, obviously. Real men wear salmon. Of course they do. Of course they do. Real men don't care what people care, or care what people think about what they wear. Doesn't bother them. Wear salmon all day. Where was the JPJ Hannah kiss? I know. I think they just cut it out. It was probably too silly, um, to put in the show with all the drama stuff. But all right, we're getting into the late time. I'll answer one more question, and then it's time to head out. There'll be videos tomorrow. I'll post this, or let this post up on the channel. And is Conor still a top pick? This is one that's good. He evaporated. I think he just gets edged out. He gets edged out by Luke right now for me, because yeah, he still has been in a couple of the end parts of previews here and there. So I don't think he's quite out of it yet, but he's out of it. Yeah, he's out of it. So this has been a totally awesome night. It's just kind of flown by. This has been really off the cusp. We started off with a wonderful fudge moment when I thought the stream had blown out. We've already got someone posting. I've had to ban this one guy who seems to keep making an account, and that's been a wonderful first. So cheers to that guy. And yeah, so I hope to continue to do this. Do you think Peter has a chance? Yes, I do. I think he has a great chance. And I hope to continue to do this. I hope to continue improving the stream and adding little things. I wanted to do a little more like things like this. Sorry. Late on that, of course. But, you get caught up in the chat times. And so, again, as we do more stuff like this, things like that are going to get improved upon. And, yeah. So I will see you all tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, for the recap video, and then the following day for